Say what? Look, I got this when I was doing homework. Pretty warm now, but I'm not going to let it go to waste. Got this about 4 days ago. It's supposed to be refrigerated. I got some left, but even when you first open it, like this is the second flavor I try, it tastes like, you know, it reminds me of cleaning products because the smell almost of fruit seems almost like, I haven't read the ingredients, but artificial. Almost makes me feel like I'm drinking a scented cleaning product or something. So instead of buying like fresh fruit that's too expensive, I bought, can you see this? I bought frozen fruit, but still no fridge. I gotta. So yeah, it's been a few days, and this is yogurt and an extremely expensive small bag of assorted candied. I was surprised it ended up being, with the weights, and it was one of the smaller bags, $7 something that I put in there to go with it. But again, it's kind of starting to go, right? So, but it's still. Don't want to waste. Especially that this is not cheaper food bank stuff. It's stuff I invested a big part of my budget in. It makes me more bloated when I eat differently, but even healthy stuff, because it's different. And it's trying to process it. You know, and it's Activia, lactose free, but I also been taking the probiotic equivalent of a leaf from Walmart when I see it. Well, hey, this is who the bloody hell is the Martin Pariseau. You know, recently I've kind of talked, you know, a little bit about relatives, and they might feel judged a bit if they try to catch up to my vlogs, if any of them do, around as my birthday approaches. But the thing is they're not really attacks, and they're not really different than when I talk about strangers or the norm. So, you know, they can be defensive if they want. But for example, I could say, oh, okay, so you're saying we're a real family? Like, you really care about me? And then I could ask, you know, if they want to say, hey, we don't like you mention this. Well, first of all, is I don't say your full name, where you live, exactly what it is, and I'm waiting for an apology, whatever it is. I'm not going to get apologies from you any more than I will from the Canadian or provincial governments that I provided data online about things they owe me more than apologies for. But I could say, hey, do you know I have this court case in Quebec? And a few of them do. And then I would say, well, how many times did you ask me, if ever, and the answer is 0, how that's going? And then I could say, and then they will rationalize why they haven't, why it makes them uncomfortable, or whatever it might be. And again, somehow I'm supposed to believe that, and they are an awesome family member, not just a random relative. And then I would say, oh yeah, that they get more defensive. Oh yeah, so can I count on you as a witness? I'm going to call you as a witness because they're asking that right now, that you can talk about my mental state. Oh my God, the anxiety they're going to get from just this question. Oh man, it's off the scale. It's never going to go away. So again, you know, like, I'm not making this stuff up. Like, I'm not attacking people that are ill. They're ill. And I'm not just talking about my family. I'm talking about the norm. The norm is quite happy to bring more kids in the world to teach them how to be deer stuck in headlights and then, you know, getting hit and killed by the Anthropocene. So that's the way it is. So I'm sorry about that, but that's who I am. And, you know, I can't talk about my psychohistory and never mention family of origin or things like that. But the thing is I don't really have more trauma from my family of origin than I do from other people. Because when you leave that area and you find out, like in 2002, people are the same on Vancouver Island, then you travel out of country, people are the same in other countries. The illusion of right and wrong is so much more important than the actual right and wrong. The illusion of sentience and sapience. Don't challenge me on yours, I won't challenge you. And please, don't challenge me on mine. I won't challenge you on yours. But the thing is an Homo sapien would, right? Transparency is important. Accountability is important. They're key foundational concepts for what you claim already exists as civilization. So sorry, like once I evolved enough to realize more things and to say, well, this is how an Homo sapien would have self-actualized. And here's the definition in your own dictionaries. And here's how you will even agree if we get into a conversation about right and wrong, how to behave. And then you will rationalize not behaving this way. This is a common theme among your species. So whether it's, it's somebody in a town that I end up, passing through because there's just no sign of Homo sapiens. Like sometimes when you talk to people and they have a little bit of conversation with you, they would say, oh my God, you're like this guy or girl there. And he's also like you and that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, that might be an Homo sapien. They don't say this. They don't say there's somebody that's very different. If they even understand how I'm different. Because then they'll send me to drug addicts that have a village in the woods and are dysfunctional? Like, is that what they think I am? Because that's sometimes what people think. Oh, you need to go there or meet these people who are very different than me. So I want to put them in the same category as you. Except it's not at all. And I'm going to assume that you don't want to follow my advice like a psychiatrist would do. And I know what I'm talking about. Because somehow my opinions and advice, you might think, Martin, I can say the same. Yes, but I want to be challenged on mine. Oh, here's something I want to say. If people say, well, I'll have to talk about it in another vlog because I forgot how I wanted to phrase that when I was thinking about it earlier today. But there's a way to prove the difference between me and others when you think it's the same situation and it isn't. I've given you examples in the past, like I said, well, put me in your job and see how I'm going to act. Or I accept the public debate. Or I accept to provide my evidence. Will you provide yours? But there was something else, and I guess I'm just starting to formulate that argument because it's not coming now. Maybe I need to eat more fermented stuff that wasn't fermented when I bought it. But when you don't have a fridge, that's what happens.